If I was in your position and I wanted to take my online coaching or consulting business from whatever it is that I'm doing right now to that 100K a month mark in 2026, then these are the three key areas I would focus on fixing and dialing in above everything else. Because the truth of the matter is this: I've been running my own direct marketing and consulting firm for the past 3 years, and I've been behind the scenes of many operations, and I have deduced that these three areas are honestly the only difference between where you are right now and that revenue goal that you have in mind, okay? A lot of people are going to try and give you advice online. A lot of it's gimmicky, a lot of it's just shiny objects. So in this video, my objective is to just help you zone in on the three most important things. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So the guarantee, the claim, if you follow what I'm about to give you in this video, then you are going to get this phone call, okay? Big money is going to be calling you, I promise. Oh man, what am I doing? First things first, too many online coaches and consultants don't understand their market. And this is because they don't do the right amount of research. Exhibit this quote from David Ogilvy, whose obsession with research paid him very, very well. Because this is the problem in our space, okay? People either can't be bothered with research or they don't do high quality research. It's going to mean that your messaging and the content that you produce is not going to resonate with anybody in your market. Big problem, considering that's what your goal is. You will also just make poor executive decisions in general. You might see TikTok and think, this is a cool and trendy new customer acquisition channel, right? But if you'd done the research, you'd know that actually your market hangs out on Facebook. So that would be a very, very costly mistake that you could have avoided if you'd done the research. And also, it doesn't matter if you're doing huge volumes of traffic. Your conversion rate is still probably going to stay really, really low because you don't know how to meet people where they're at. If you'd done the research, then you would. So here are some key points for you to get started on market research. Now, one thing I will say is this is the tip of the iceberg, okay? I have a brand new video all about just in-depth market research coming out really soon, so stay tuned for that, or it might already be up by the time you're watching, and if so, I'll link that below. First of all, you're going to want to look at market awareness. Now, everybody knows what market awareness is. You probably know what this is. It's that 5-stage kind of process where there's like problem aware, solution aware, that kind of thing, okay? Now, it's pointless trying to serve one stage of awareness when the market's in another. So if you're trying to educate people when they're already in a high state of awareness, then that's going to come across as condescending. Now, another thing that I actually don't see talked about very much is market sophistication. Now, this quite simply just means how many times has your market heard of similar offers or claims to what you have with your own value proposition. So to give an example, copywriting business opportunity niche. Now, initially, if you were like the first guru in that market, you could say, I'm going to teach you how to make $1,000 a month writing emails. And people would be like, wow. But if people have already heard that a bunch of times, you're going to want to come up with something new, like, I will teach you how to make $1,000 with emails a month in under 20 days. And if you don't, I will give you all the money back and $3,000 out of my own pocket. Something like that, okay? And if that doesn't work, then you're going to want to have something like, oh yeah, like a unique mechanism. You're going to want to have something like, yeah, so you can make $1,000 a month writing only emails, and you don't have to do things like this exhausting outreach. There's this new psychological outreach method or something, and you can just kind of push that, and then that's going to capture people who would otherwise not be interested because they're a sophisticated market. I hope that makes sense. And you're also going to want to look into your competition and half competition. Now, what do I mean by half competition? If you kind of own a space and you have like a kind of blue ocean market, like me, for instance, and you don't really have competitors, you're going to want to look at people who your market's being exposed to anyway. So I'm going to look at kind of parallel spaces to like the space I'm in, operations that are similar to mine in a sense, and it does well to know what people are being exposed to so you can actually tailor your own content around that so that you know what people are getting, and then you can fill in the blanks and things like that. It's what makes competitor research so important, so you can always have a one-up on them. The second key area is if you just have a chopped sales process. If your sales process is not good or poorly optimized or designed, it's going to work a bit like this pipe here. So imagine that the water is all of the like traffic. It's gonna go through that burst there and it's just gonna spray out and it's not gonna keep going. Now, a typical error that I see with sales funnels these days is that it's either usually too much or not enough stuff. So it's like too many pages, too many steps, or just not enough steps. Essentially, in short, a convoluted or a high friction pipeline is just going to mean that you're bleeding money. Even if you do streamline your funnel, you have to think like, are the assets that I have in this funnel, are they actually built for demand capture? Because I might get the demand coming in, but am I actually like capitalizing on it? Like, demand capture essentially just refers to, is my content and are my like marketing assets doing their job and actually catching the demand? When it comes to sales funnels, this is really the simplest model that you can have that will make you money, okay? Organic content, landing page with a good VSL, and just a book a call page. Okay, maybe like a thank you page after that. Don't need extra things like a free school community and a newsletter. And by the way, I'm biased towards newsletters. I literally like ran a newsletter for years, so I'm extremely biased towards newsletters. I know they work well, but you don't need them in the beginning. Things like this, you want to ideally make it as low friction and as simple as possible, both because it's easier for you to maintain and also because it's just easier for the customer, so it's good for both parties. Add things like on top of this later. So for instance, I have a client who does have a school community, like a free school community that he funnels people into, and then he reaches out to them on there, and that does work quite well. If you just want to keep it simple, just do this, okay? Just do this. No need for anything else, and do this well. Final area is just not having a unique brand image. Now, brand image. This is a very, very big thing, and this is why I'm so big on branding these days. Everybody's getting commodified, okay? They're turning out like the Buzz Lightyear meme here, okay? Identical, the same. Not good, okay? And this is all down to things like oversaturation, just AI slop everywhere, and a trust recession that we have going on right now for a number of reasons. If you don't have a developed brand and identity that will stick with people and actually differentiate you from everybody, you will just get washed out, okay? The conditions of the market right now, the online money space, like, you will just get washed out if you're not memorable, and that is a fact, because there's so many options nowadays. Strong branding is your escape from what I will call the crisis of commodification, which is what we have going on right now, because there's so many solutions, so many people. Having that identity that sticks with people is what's going to make the difference here. So what you're going to want to do is take the time to actually define and design a clear, distinct identity for your business and content, and then carry that through the content that you produce. Have aesthetics, have values, have a story, all of these things, a personality, character, all of these things that actually are going to stick with people, that are actually going to set you apart from the crowd. For this, you can refer to my frameworks on the topic, okay? So I've made tons of videos on branding, and I'm going to make even more because it's something that I think that so many people don't really understand and so many people don't get right. So you can go ahead and check out some of my videos on this topic for the frameworks that I use to build magnetic, captivating, profitable personal brands. And that's really all there is to be said on this topic. These are the 3 key areas that you need to focus on. You want to make sure that you're focused on doing your research. You want to make sure that you've got a good, not badly optimized, not chopped sales funnel that's simple and low friction. And you want to make sure that you actually have a unique image in 2026. These are the 3 key areas that you need to focus on dialing in. Thank you for reaching the end, and I will see you in the next video.